Hello everyone and welcome back to the next installment of our 9.2 raid guides, proudly presented by Coinbase. This is Cryzpck from Team Liquid, and today we'll show you how to kill Skolex in the Mythic Sepulcher of the First Ones. This video is being recorded live from Team Liquid's Race to World First event, so apologies if there's a little bit of background noise. As a reminder, all of our Mythic guides are written with the assumption you understand how the fight works on Heroic. As such, this video is focused on the Mythic changes in strategy, and we won't be reviewing how Heroic mechanics work. If you need a refresher on the basic mechanics, check out the Heroic guide video on our channel. Skolex really only has one new mechanic on Mythic, but it's very impactful and influences your raid positioning substantially. You'll not have to deal with puddles of volatile residue. Standing in the residue deals heavy ticking shadow damage. These puddles are left behind by several abilities. Wretch will always spawn several puddles within the area of the cone effect. Being hit by devouring blood will leave a puddle at the location of the swirly that somebody was hit by. Lastly, when the boss casts burrow, the collapsing emptiness circle underneath where the boss starts the burrow will be completely filled by residue. With all of these different sources, you'll end up with a lot of the room covered in puddles, forcing you to think ahead with your movement. On top of the residue, the other issue you're going to be dealing with on Mythic is the boss's Enrage timer. He enrages at exactly 6 minutes into the fight, and this is a hard enrage that will wipe you within seconds. You basically have until 6 minutes and 5 seconds to kill the boss, or the enrage will wipe you. The earlier in the tier you're doing this boss, the tighter the DPS check is here. It's important that you don't have people die, and you don't waste time with unnecessary movement. That'll reduce your raid's DPS. Just like in Heroic, you'll start with the boss in the middle of the room, and the ranged and healer players will be stacked about 15 yards away. Your melee should also be stacked tightly, to keep the devouring blood swirlies close together. This melee group should move as a single group in the same direction for every cast of devouring blood, to both reduce the risk that somebody is hit by a swirly, and also ensure that if somebody is hit, it doesn't prevent the rest of the melee from having somewhere to stand. Also, just like Heroic, you'll want 2 teams of 3 players for soaking the Dust Blast in ranged. No big deal, you should be used to doing this anyway. We recommend using Bloodlust on pull, as it's the most effective DPS time you'll have. Okay, let's talk about the burrow. You're able to force a burrow whenever the entire raid is stacked, even if the boss is in the middle of casting Wretch. If you do get everyone stacked while the boss is casting Wretch, it will actually interrupt the cast and force him to burrow immediately instead. You can use this to your advantage, helping reduce the total amount of puddles you get throughout the fight. Since Wretch is just on a timer, you can pretty easily track when it's about to start. The melee players and your tanks should all start moving to the ranged group right as a Wretch begins to cast, if it's the one you want to cause a burrow on. Wretch itself is a 5-second long cast, so you have plenty of time to stack up. Use movement cooldowns if necessary, and you can even put down a Warlock gateway if needed. As long as everybody in the raid is stacked before the Wretch completes its cast, it'll force the burrow to happen instead. As far as burrow timing, we recommend triggering a burrow during the 3rd Wretch cast after the fight begins, and then during every 2nd Wretch after that. By doing this, you can heavily minimize the total amount of puddles your raid gets. We've included an animation here showing the entirety of the movement for the fight, for the Wretches and the burrows. After each Wretch you let go through, the range should shift back into the location that the Wretch cone just hit. Then, when that 2nd Wretch is being cast, everybody will stack on top of that range group, forcing the boss to relocate to the area that he's already hit by a Wretch. By doing this, you'll put the boss into an area where there's already some puddles. So later on in the fight, when another burrow happens, the large puddle of residue that he'll leave behind is just going to cover somewhere that already had some puddles. The big benefit here is that you'll be keeping as many of the puddles as possible grouped up, leaving more of the encounter area open and clear of residue. These little things can go a long way in ensuring you have plenty of space later on in the fight. You'll be aiming to get 4 burrows total during the encounter. Don't get hit by bad things, make sure Dust Blast is being soaked properly, and new card. Kill this boss before he enrages and stomps you into the ground. If you enjoyed this guide, remember to like it and make sure you're subscribed to the channel to catch all of our previews, guides, kill videos, and more. A big thank you to Coinbase for making guides like these possible. From everyone here at Team Liquid, have a great day, and we'll see you for the next video.